Have you ever played a video game and thought to yourself, hey, I never noticed that before? Or, I've played this video game 100 times and I've never been here before? Well, I sometimes feel this way when I play through my favorite video games, so I thought I'd make a video on it and bring all of you along to look at some of my favorite corners of Halo Combat Evolved's campaign. Okay, so here we are at the end of the second level of the game, Halo, and I think this might be one of my favorite places in the entire game. This sort of canyon serves as kind of this intermediary place just designed to essentially get you from one objective to the other. You know, you've got the three separate sites where you rescue the Marines. You've got the one in there, you've got the one over there, and then you've got the one further in there. This area sort of just serves as kind of like a piece of landscape that you just kind of use to get from one point of interest to another. And I think it's really interesting, you know, it's kind of this place that there's no gunfights, there's not even a single enemy in this entire area, but it's still so memorable to me. It's like one of the most memorable places in this entire game, especially playing this as a kid. I still have like the memory of coming here for the first time and just seeing that beautiful sight you see when you come out of the cave. But the thing is that there's literally nothing here. There is nothing going on at all. It is purely just a landscape with a vibe. And I think that is so cool. Specifically, I wanted to have a look at this section down here. This is a place that I personally have hardly ever come down. And I'm wondering if people are the same, if anybody else actually takes this path, because I know I pretty much never take this path when I play the game. It kind of serves as just a passing area, like this sort of spot that you just pass through without staying in it for a while. You know, you've got one of the points of interest there, and then you've got the other one just through there. And this spot kind of just, again, serves as like this intermediary place that you just drive through to get from one objective to another. And it's not really designed to just stop and have a look at. They kind of just designed it as like, we need to put a path here for the player to get from one objective to another. Let's just build this. And something that proves my point in saying this and saying that this is just kind of a passing through area is if you come over here and have a look at this tree, see how it's not fully touching the ground? It just makes me think, if they didn't notice that this tree wasn't touching the ground, maybe that this place was sort of a spot that you're not supposed to hang out for too long. And because of that, I think it's really cool. Like, this feels like such a cool shot that I've almost never seen in Halo. You know, whenever I think of Halo Combat Evolved, and specifically the level Halo, I don't think of this arch. And it's so beautiful. You've got this little winding river, you've got the waterfall, you've got the sounds of the river. For me, I never come through this section ever. I think one of the last times that I just played through this game, I came through here and then turned around because I thought I was going the wrong way. Like, I came this way and then I thought, oh shit, this doesn't lead anywhere. And then I turned around. Yeah, here we are at the tree again. And I love this tree so much. It's not my favorite tree in the game. We'll get to that later. The fact that it's so far off the ground, it just signifies to me that Bungie didn't think anyone was going to just stop here and look at the trees. You know, they sort of just slapped this tree down, expecting you to just kind of drive past and not pay attention. And that's kind of what makes it really cool to me, is this area that was never really designed to be looked at. You know, I'm sure when they were making the game in 2000, they didn't think anyone was just going to stop here and look at this tree. Anyway, we'll go to our next location. Okay, so here we are. This is right after you get the Warthog, after the first section in Halo. We're a little bit earlier in the level before you get to the light bridge. I'm sure you all recognize this spot. This is where you do that sick ramp, but we're not looking at that. Something that I found the other day that I've just been completely obsessed with. It's this little nook right here. I don't know why, but I have been obsessed with this little nook for the past few days since I first found it. I have so many questions like, first of all, just why? Why is there a little nook here that just leads to nothing? I mean, it's not like a small little sort of wedge taken out of the wall. It's like somebody started a strip mine here and then changed their mind. And I just have to think, like, who made this little nook and why was it kept in the game? There's a little spot here, but I mean, this kind of makes more sense. It's the same width as the path that goes here. At least it makes sense contextually that, you know, it's not just a wall here. There's a little bit of space for whatever reason. But why is this nook here? What purpose does it serve? Who made it? You know, some developer spent an afternoon or, you know, an hour just making this little nook. You know, maybe it was for like a little ramp to get up initially, like when they were making the level initially. Maybe it was like stairs so you could get up on foot. You know, maybe this ramp didn't exist before and this was just like the pathway up or something. But it's just so fascinating to me that something like this exists and essentially serves no purpose. And it's in like such an iconic level as well. You know, it's not like it's in a throwaway section of a level. It's like, this is the first time you're on the ring and this is the first time you're actually entering Forerunner, you know, Forerunner structure. I've been obsessed with this thing for days. I mean, there's just nothing to it. It just like makes no sense why it would be here, and I just love it. I just love the fact that it's here for no reason. Anyway, that was just a quick stop off at the Nook. Just wanted to show everyone that. Let's move on. Okay, so here we are on Assault on the Control Room. Nice Christmassy level. And my favorite tree is somewhere in this valley. Alright, so this is another area where I assume the game developers didn't expect any players to come to. And we can do a quick little jump with our warthog to get up here. And there it is. So, like I was mentioning before with the other tree, you know, the fact that it was hovering above the ground slightly gave me the impression that the developers probably didn't think that you were going to come here, so they didn't bother to fix it if they even noticed it. But this one is like egregiously bad. Like, this one you can like completely walk under. It's not even close to touching the ground, really. And one of my favorite parts about this tree is the fact that not only is it not touching the ground, it is actually growing out of the ceiling. You can see that it's attached to the ceiling there, or the little cliff ridge. So it's like an upside down tree, growing from the top down. There you go, you can see it pretty good from here. Oh, look at that, it's even swaying. I never noticed that. You know, it's like the developers didn't think you were going to come here, so they probably didn't put too much effort into placing this tree, because it's like every single tree in this level, and probably every level, was placed by someone. Like, that was somebody's job, was to go around and place trees and place rocks and do like set dressing, you know, do these lights, do these little crates. And then somebody placed this tree here, and, you know, maybe they just didn't put much time into it because they knew this wasn't a play space that the player was going to come to. It's now become my favorite tree in the game. So there you go, little fun fact about me. So here we are at our final location. This is a two-parter, which is very cool. So the first one is in here. If you don't know where I am, this is in 2 Betrayals. This is right when you go into the tunnel. You've got this little tower, this ice tower. And as far as I'm aware, this room doesn't open in Assault on the Control Room. Like, you can't go through this door. But it is open. Oh, don't want to spoil. It is open in 2 Betrayals, which is what we're playing. So you come in here. Just have a look at that. First of all, I want to talk about the walls. As far as I'm aware, this texture doesn't get used much anywhere else. I know it's on the outside of this building, and I think it's on near the bridges in this level and Assault on the Control Room. But other than that, I don't think it gets used anywhere. But in this room, I think is by far the coolest. It feels like being in like a planetarium. You know, you're looking up at the night sky. You've got these like little twinkling lights that jitter on and off on a dark, sort of a dark Forerunner wall, which most of the Forerunner walls look like this. They're like grey. They're sort of like this dirty kind of grey. This one's like a dark grey. And then this one is like dark grey and black. I picked up a health kit. There's a little path out here that just leads to a tiny little balcony thing, and you can see, yeah. So this texture is all on the outside of the building, but it doesn't look anywhere near as cool until you actually get in here. You may have noticed the corpses on the ground in here, and that wasn't me. These two will spawn here no matter what. There's so much storytelling in these two corpses. First of all, why are they here? Why are they both dead? How did this elite die, but he didn't get turned into the flood? You know, you'd think if he died, he would have been infected somehow and then turned into the flood, but it almost looks like forbidden love. You know, the Covenant wouldn't accept their love, so they had a suicide pact and killed each other or killed themselves. But it's so fascinating the amount of storytelling that is just in this one room from two corpses. You can come up with like a million ideas to why is there two corpses here, and why are they in the exact state they're in? Why is there one flood and why is there one elite? Another thing that I find really cool is these pipes. I think we see them a couple other times in the level, but I don't know if we see a glass floor like this that has pipes going down anywhere else in the game. And it's a really cool effect, I think. You know, when you sort of stand here, you can't even see the bottom. It looks like it's endless. The illusion gets a bit ruined because you can actually just see the bottom when you're standing in the middle. But if you're on this sort of dirty corner, you can't see that, and it just looks endless. Anyway, yeah, I think this is a really cool room. You never go into it for any reason in the campaign. There's one health kit, there's no ammo, there's nothing else. It's not even really like that advantageous to come up here, but it is so cool looking. Okay, so our last spot is just up here, and it's this little doorway slash room slash nook. Not sure what to call it, but it just looks so ridiculous. Like, have a look at that. Just without like any context, what are we looking at right now? My initial thought was maybe this is just a little room that they made so enemies can spawn outside of players' line of sight, so you don't just see like an enemy pop in to sort of hide the illusion. But then I thought some more, and you know, you're down there for most of the fight. There's probably like a trigger somewhere, you know, up the tower that spawns in all these enemies when you get high enough. So why is this room here? I mean, maybe there was like an elevator or a ladder, and that would connect to the room that we were just in downstairs, but it just looks so bizarre. Like, it's like one of those liminal photos where you just see like a door in the middle of an ocean. But yeah, just a funny looking little nook, little door, little cubby house. I thought I'd point it out because I've come up here so many times. You know, you come right up here, right over there, and I've just never noticed this random little nook. I guess this is nook number 2 of the video. So those are some of my favourite lonely corners of Halo Combat Evolved. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to make more of this type of video in other games, including but not strictly limited to the Halo series. I probably even have enough spots just to make a second video in Combat Evolved. You know, video games are such a unique and amazing art form, and it's fun to occasionally just stop and appreciate certain aspects of them. Take some time, load up one of your favorite video games and just start looking at things and start questioning them. And think, you know, why was this put here, or why was this made like this? It's really fun to just sit there and question stuff. Anyway, let me know if you have any personal favorite, interesting or lonely spots in Halo CE. I'd really love to hear some more from you guys. And as always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video.